smuggling and putting in place measures to facilitate trade. So I will be having conversation with those of them who will be heads of departments to ensure that we have a shared vision regarding how we can go about fulfilling the mandates for each of the departments.
The Comptroller General at the event equally enjoined 5 newly promoted Deputy Comptrollers General and 8 Assistant Comptrollers General to quickly blend with the new trends of customs operations globally.
We are therefore conscious of the challenge that our promotion poses to us in our patriotic service to our dear country. We assure you that we shall continue to be tireless and relentless in the discharge of our responsibility.
The appointments were confirmed at the Service 59th regular meeting. Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
So education, 50 senior secondary schools across the country have been earmarked for renovation and upgrade by the Secretary of the Commission made this known during an on-the-spot visit to some selected schools in Minna, the Niger State capital. Dauda Mohammed reports.
Nigeria, with approximately 58,000 senior secondary schools across the country, has 16,000 public-owned, most of which are dilapidated, lacking basic facilities like laboratories and qualified teaching staff. The visit to Minna by the Executive Secretary of National Senior Secondary Education Commission, Dr. Iyela Ajayi, is to appraise the facilities of some selected senior secondary schools for possible intervention.
The national minimum reposition senior secondary education in this country. That document has clearly stated the number of teachers we should have. I'm sure you know that the national policy of education has clearly stated that the ratio of teachers to of a teacher to students should be 1 to 40 at the senior secondary school level. The type of teachers you should
has the mandate to prescribe and enforce minimum standards for senior secondary schools across the country. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Still on education, following another dismal shown by candidates in the 2024 UTME, where over 70% of tertiary admission seeking students scored less than 200 marks, stakeholders in the education sector have continued to express concern over the successive decline of standards in education in the country, while some parents put the blame on overwhelming career. Adiza Godwin Ebuni brings us details.
It is another year of dismal showing by tertiary education-seeking Nigerian students in the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board administered Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, leaving parents and experts alike all concerned by the alarming trend of failures. Out of the possible 400 attempted marks, more than 76% of the candidates in the 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination scored less than 200, according to JAMB. It is statistics like this and its frequent occurrence annually that has agitated many Nigerians.
JAMB may not have prepared adequately for the exam in terms of preparing the students. Two, it could also be that the students...
That the CBT, the examiners or JAM were not actually ready in their different centers because there were so many hitches.
But another position blames the education system described as a straitjacket approach that has not evolved with the times. Giving more voice to that is the telling argument by educationists themselves that the teaching profession is suffering apathy as teachers are no longer interested in teaching.
When you see massive the environment, so many other reasons, but the summary of it is that teaching and learning processes are not properly taking place. That is true. That one is not controversial.
How many trained teachers today are ready to teach in our schools? People use teaching today as a stepping stone. Even the trained teachers are not willing to teach. Now you have half-baked teachers. In most cases, when you even have them, they are half-baked, handling our future leaders.
To get the country out of this situation, experts say all hands must be on deck while implementing a holistic approach to critical areas of reforms, including tackling insecurity and improving reading culture, among others.
There are undergraduate students who came to register for or to impersonate others. And unless we start to make people pay for what they do, we got no sentiment about it.
For now, the reality of the matter remains blunt, and many tertiary institutions operate on the reality check, lowering their cut-off marks for some courses to admit students, sometimes as low as 160. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
Amid on politics, despite the resolutions of the 98th Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party, stakeholders are still pushing for a new national chairman by August 2024. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that stakeholders...
The recent 98th National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party, among other issues, considered to have a substantive national chairman of the party to be announced on August 15, 2024, despite the restraining order of a High Court of the Federal Capital Territory barring the party from replacing its acting national chairman, Ambassador Umar Iliadamagum, pending the determination of the suit before it. Many PDP stakeholders believe that constitutionally a replacement must come from the geopolitical zone of the immediate past national chairman of the party, Iyocha Ayu, who was ousted out.
With some inventions to its credit. Those who are grounded in the field say to explore the potential of robotics in the country, more needs to be done.
We need innovation and incubation robotics lab spread across the country. We also need some support and partnership between the academia, the government and industry in order to drive innovation and create a conducive environment for technological advancement through robotics.
There ought to also be a sort of warehouse for robotic kits, hardware components, because one major challenge is the fact that many cannot start any robots, a school or a company, unless they import from China. Battery importation is also a big challenge, isn't it? And robotics cannot do without batteries. So what we need is a warehouse, federal government approved warehouse, managed by the National Center for AI and Robotics, perhaps in the various geopolitical zones, so that when any robotics project is to be done, there can be a place somewhere in that zone to go to buy.
Since interactions between humans and machines have come to stay, they agree that more innovations in robotics will play crucial roles in optimizing life's experiences. In Abuja, Toyiba Anifoshi, NTA News.
Thank you, Toyiba. Now to the foreign scene, South Africa warns International Criminal Court that war in Gaza has reached a new and horrific stage. Let's now join Abdul Salam Jibrin for this and more on the foreign scene.
South Africa has told the United Nations top court on Thursday that the situation in Gaza has reached a new and horrific stage as it sought emergency measures to halt Israel's military. It was the third time the International Court of Justice held hearings on the conflict in Gaza since South Africa filed proceedings